Okay, today's instructional video is how to create your own custom sound sequence on a FoxPro collar. First thing that you need to do, that's highly recommended, is print out a list of all of your sounds and the corresponding numbers to them using the FoxPro programming utility. When you print it out, this is what it's going to look like. It'll have all the calls on your collar and the corresponding numbers to them. You will want to have this to make the sequence. So going to FoxPro's site, go to Resources, go down to Foxcast File Generator, select that. It's going to have you select your model. In this case I have the FoxPro Fusion. Select Set Model. Okay, so here's what the generator looks like. You'll see on here that it has your main controls, add sound, repeat sound, add long pause, add pause, Fox motion, Fox pitch, decoy on, decoy off, decoy line in, decoy line off, start loop, end, Q and R and NJ. So the first thing you want to do is, let's say we're going to start off with let's do a pause first. So let's say you set up first, you want to do a pause before the sound start playing. So what we'll do is we'll add a 2-minute pause. To do that, go to where it says add long pause, and this long pause is anywhere from 1 minute to 1440 minutes. So we're just going to put 2 in there and select add pause. So you'll see up here it entered H2. That's the code for a 2-minute pause. First we're going to start with volume. So starting off with volume, I'm going to want to, for my first sound for this mating call sequence, I'm going to want to start off with something high volume. I don't want to go max, so I'm going to go volume 32. Hit add volume. You'll see that puts it in there as V32. Now the sound I'm going to add is Tony Tebby's Lost Coyote, which on my remote or my collar here is sound number 188. So put in 188 for add sound, select that. Okay, so now I'm going to have a 2-minute pause, and Tony Tebby's Lost Coyote is going to start off at volume 32. It's going to run through that sound 1 time. So now what I want to do is add a pause. This is my preferred mating season call sequence. I'll start off with a vocalization, and then I'm going to add another pause. So I'm going to put in a pause on this of 8 minutes. So add long pause, 8 minutes. Now I'm going to go to another vocalization, and in this case we're going to go with Female Invitation from FoxPro. So again, I'm going to add volume first. So we're going to go same volume again, 32. Now I'm going to go down here to add the sound, and that is sound 010 on my collar. Okay, so now I have a 2-minute pause. It's going to play Tony Tebby's Lost Coyote 1 time, 8-minute pause. Then it's going to play Female Invitation 1 time at same volume, 32. And now I'm going to add another long pause. This pause I'm only going to make 5 minutes. And I'm going to put in one more vocalization. For this one I'm going to put in Tony Tebby's Alpha Male, which is 172. So again, I add the volume. We'll go 30 on this one, slightly less. And then the sound number again, which on my collar is sound 172. Okay, so I got those 2 sounds. I'm going to put in another pause. Okay, so I added a 5-minute pause. Now I'm going to add Tony Tebby's 1900 Coyote. That one I'm going to put at a lower volume, so I'm going to do volume 25. And then that sound is sound number 167. Alright, so I got those added in there. I'm going to add a 2-minute pause. and then I'm going to put in pup distress. Pup distress I'm going to put in at volume 20. And the pup distress I'm going to use is Tony Tebby Screaming Pups, which is call number 218. Okay, so that would actually complete this sound sequence that I want to use. So at this point, you add end. It'll tell you up here sequence ended, remove ending line, or build sequence, editing disabled. Okay, so the last part of building the sequence is to name the sequence. If you look down here, you'll see it has S00, my sequence. You have to have that S number in there, otherwise the file will not work. So what you need to do is look under File Explorer on your caller and see what numbers you have. Most likely you're going to have S01 through S0, I think it's 12 is standard. But you have to look and see so you know what to number yours as. So this one I'm going to make S014, and I'm just going to name it mating sequence. Then hit the build button. That brings you to the Foxcast file generator. Download the sequence. Save file. You're going to want to go up to the file, open that folder so you can see the sound, which is right here. You're going to want to copy to your sounds file, and you'll notice at the bottom it lists all your sound files. Just select paste, and that'll put it right down there at the bottom. Actually, I'm going to rename that because it needs to be S14, not S014. So once you've copy pasted it into the folder on your caller, you're all set. Close that out. You can actually close this down at this time. Then all you have to do is make sure to sync your caller with your remote, and you are all set. Your sequence is downloaded to the computer. So now after you've closed that, unplug the caller from your computer, turn your caller on, turn on your remote. You need to sync the remote, download the list. Okay, sounds are downloaded. Now you should be able to go to your Foxcast, and there it is, Mating Season 2, sound S14, and it is now complete. Okay, so here's a couple additional notes. We ran through making a basic sequence. Now, let's say, for example, you wanted to use a couple of different sounds and you wanted to add a couple of additional features in there. Obviously, you could choose to turn your decoy on or off at different times. You can also make those sounds so they play over and over. You can add the Fox motion to them by putting in the speed. You would put that stuff before you would set the volume, then add the motion, then the sound. Same thing with Fox pitch. If you wanted to change the pitch of your vocalization to make it sound like more like a higher pitched animal, you'd want to put in your sound volume first, then add your Fox pitch of 0 to 19, and then put in that sound. That's how you would change those items on there. You can loop the sounds. You can also make it so the sounds repeat X number of times. So let's say, for example, I wanted to start off, let's say I was doing a Fox set. I could start off with, let's go low volume, so we'll go sound volume of 5. Now let's go sound volume of 10. Add the volume. The sound we're going to start off with for, let's say, a fox or a bobcat sequence, we will start off, let's start off with something real minor, so we'll start off with vole squeaks. Sound number 055. Add sound. Now I can repeat that sound, and this is where you kind of have to do some looking, and I'm not sure if FoxPro shows it on their sound sequence or their sound file previews or not, but sometimes it can get a little tricky knowing how long that sound file plays for. Some of these sound files don't play for very long, some are minutes. Let's say I want to have a sound repeat during that sequence. What I'm going to do first is add my volume. We're going to do this one at volume 10. Add sound, I put in 055 for mine, which is vole squeaks. And I want to repeat that sound 3 times. So add the volume, add the sound. You'll notice that as it generates a sequence, it says S55 3. That means it's going to repeat it 3 times. So let's put in a 30-second pause. Now let's say I want to go to something a little bit louder. Let's try Tony Tebby's Angry Bird. We'll do volume of 15. Sound number 173. So add the volume. Now we're going to add Fox motion. I want it to be fast, so I'm going to put it at 5. Add that. Now add the sound. And again, you'll see motion is M with a 5. The volume was 15. The sound is 173. Now let's say I want to do another one. We'll add sound or do volume 15 again. This time we'll go to Ren Wrath, which is sound 205. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn the decoy on. You'll see it comes up with D1. Volume 15, add sound 205. You can see here the whole sequence is written out, and then when you're done with all that, again, you hit end to stop it, select build, and then name that sequence and go through the same process that I just